Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to be doing a video on should you summon for the new 1000-year Blood War and a month Squad 0 banner. We're going to be going over the filler, we're going to be going over the characters, and we're going to be going over the format for it. It's pretty obvious what it is, considering it's a Zen summon, but for those of you who don't know, I'll go over it. So if you guys enjoy, hit that like button and subscribe. On the road to 2,000 subs for this year, that'd be absolutely amazing, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Thank you. So without further ado, let's hop right on in, and let me give you my plans as to what I'm going to be doing, and then I'm going to lay out what everything else in the banner. So for me personally, because I know end of year is coming, I'm going to be going for one of them. If I pull one of them before step 5, I'm going to go for 2 of them. Not going to lie, me personally, I want Senjumaru more. Ichibe looks like he's going to be a really good technique character, but the problem is, Gauge, I don't know, I'm just not the biggest fan of the Gauge yet. I'm not completely sold on it. Maybe he'll come around and I'll actually really like it, but I just used Bruno and I was not a fan of him in GQ. Now in Limit Breaker, it's gonna be broken. Nini, Bruno, those 2 characters are absolutely absurd in Limit Breaker. Ichibe is no exception. He's gonna be absolutely broken there, but it's Limit Breaker, you know. But Senjumaru, oh my god, Senjumaru, she's a hot woman. She has the best drops in the game besides just not giving plus 10 potions like Raruka and Mila Rose and Jushiro. Other than that, she's literally the best farmer in the entire game. Her strong tech kit is superb. I absolutely love it. I love her visuals. Unfortunately, it's not Senjumaru Bankai. That's fine. That'll be in a year or 2 time. We'll eventually get it. But I understand why people want to skip. I do understand why people want to skip. End of year will most likely be better. I really hope it is. It'll probably be more hype. I mean, these 3 characters are pretty cool. I honestly like 2 of them. Like, absolutely love Ichibe, absolutely love Senjumaru. Kirio, I could go without, especially because that isn't at least her hot form, you know. But it's still a really cool banner. But end of year, I have a feeling will be more hype, better skill sets as well. I'm praying a technique or power farmer. Because that's like my biggest gripe about Senjumaru is that she's not power or technique. If she was, I would actually go for dupes. But she's not, so I'm just going to be going for 1 out of 5, and that'll call it for that. Ichibe, he's a great technique farmer, or technique character, but I'm not sure if I'm going to chase dupes. And Kirio, I have no use for outside of guild quests, and I don't really want to do that. It's just my thing. But either way, let's go to the filler. Alright, so for the filler, we obviously have the 3 new banner characters, Ichibe, Senjumaru, and Kirio. And then we have the technique, Noitora for Guild Quest. He's a pretty good Guild Quest character. Xylopro, which I don't think really has any use in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Quincy Ichigo, who might still be the #1 technique character. We'll have to find out. I honestly hope Ichibe it actually surpasses him, because how is this a premium character in the game? He's so good. Quincy Ichigo is insane. The only thing for me personally that he's missing is status immunity, but obviously that's not needed. It's just me personally, I would love status immunity. And his SA1 is kind of a bit wonky, but other than that, he's an absolutely absurd character. So yeah, I would absolutely love to see Ichibe dethrone him, but I kind of doubt it. Which is what a lot of people are saying and why they're skipping, because Senjumaru, you have Tensa, who's a premium character. And then for Ichibe, granted they have different killers, outside of guild quest, that doesn't really matter that much. You can choose Quincy Ichigo, who is probably still a better version of Ichibe. And then we have Kira, we have Chojuro, and then we have Yamamoto. Not really sure how good these characters are. I haven't really used them, but I know that they're very outdated, unfortunately. So, you know, the filler is okay. I think Noitora is actually a pretty good character in Guild Quest for his like 1 week that he has. I think it's Melee or Roncar, if I'm not mistaken. And then Quincy Ichigo, absurd character. Ichibe is going to be a broken character. Not sure if he'll surpass the Ichigo, obviously, but I think he'll still be very good. And then Senjumaru, best farmer in the game. I don't care. People say, oh, well, Senjumaru's not as good because Tensa's premium. That does not make Senjumaru worse than Tensa. I have no idea how that comparison works. 1 out of 5 versus a 1 out of 5. Senjumaru is better. Is Tensa more available? Yes, but at a 1 out of 5 versus a 1 out of 5 character, Senjumaru is better. Alright, so I completely forgot to go over the banner after I got the recording, but as you can see, it's just like the regular Zen summons. Step 1 and 2, 150 and then 200 orbs. Every 5 steps is a featured 5-star guaranteed character, not a featured character, or not the new characters, just a featured character. And then at step 25, you're able to get a ticket in your inventory, which then gives you the pity that you can actually choose. So that's why I recommend always summoning on newer banners and never reruns, because reruns you don't get pity, and that is just awful. And hopefully they never bring back the 7-step banner. Now onto the characters kits. I have the thing on the BBS simulator, but we have this right here, so sorry if it's a bit pixelated, but we have Ichibe, who is a Squad 0 Soul Reaper affiliation. His killer is Soul Reaper Quincy, makes sense, he's a technique character. And then he has the soul trait of strong attack recharge minus 12%. He has the gauge effect of frenzy plus 1 and berserker plus 100%. His innate skills is sprinter plus 1, long stride, and paralysis duration minus 100%. So he is going to be for the melee guild quest. By the way, he is melee, the melee Quincy guild quest. The only downside for him, to be honest, is the fact that he only has frenzy plus 1. If they were to give him frenzy plus 2, I think there would have been 0 complaints. Absolutely 0 complaints, to be honest. Besides, maybe some of his strong attack kits maybe aren't the best, but yeah, I would take out frenzy plus 1, give him frenzy plus 2, and then take out either weakened defense or probably bombardment, to be honest, and give him an increased chance of status elements. That would have probably been way better. Either way, still a crazy character. He has Havoc plus 20%, Frenzy plus 1, Debilitator plus 5 seconds, Marauder. He has the gauge effect of Strong Attack Recharge minus 30%, which is what will make him way better than Nini, because when Nini has the gauge, she's broken. I believe she probably hits harder, or at least just as hard as 8th Anniversary of White when she has the gauge. And that's the problem. When she doesn't have the gauge, it takes so long to come back, but with his recharge, I think he's going to be even better. Obviously, I hope I can pull him, so that way I can actually test it and find out, because I'm actually curious. I really hope he's an insane character. For the start gauge, plus 70%, except in Brave Battles, he also has that. And then he has a Berserker of 50%, so he has an extra 10% versus Nini on his strong attacks, which is really good. He has Bombardment plus 1, he has Weakened Defense, and then he has the gauge effect of Spiritual Pressure Boost plus 50%. Wish they would just give him 80, since he's a 1000 or Blood War character. Why not? Make them broken. And then he has Gauge Rampage, where every single time he gets a kill, it adds into his gauge. I wish it still counted as actual Rampage, but it also increased his gauge, you know what I mean? Imagine how absurd that would be. So either way, still a fantastic character. So if you're newer to the game, he is definitely worth picking up. Now, do you absolutely need any of these characters? To be honest, no. I'm just gonna say it right now, I don't think you need to summon. We're already 7 minutes in. Everybody's already left. But you do not need to summon on these characters. You can easily just say for end of year that, or even, you could even just skip everything and wait for 9th Anniversary if you really wanted to be honest. This is a fairly simple game. They're not adding much difficulty outside of Guild Quest, so you don't need any of these characters. Now, in my opinion, Senjumaru is the one you want to go for the most, because she's an absurd farmer. If you do not have Tensei Zangetsu, she is the character to get for a speed character. So she is a Soul Reaper Squad 0 killer, affiliation, only a hollow killer. Wish she got 2 killers, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why she only has 1. That is another downside, to be honest. I just wish they would just give 1000 Blood War characters 2 killers. You know, they're limited. Come on now. But she has the soul trait of strong attack recharge minus 12%. She has the innate skills of sprinter plus 2, havoc plus 20%, and marauder. So she's gonna be really fast. So I would probably just end up giving her full stamina damage and then long stride, and away she goes. So she has berserker plus 50%, devastation plus 60%. So her soul bomb and her strong attacks are gonna hit incredibly hard. She has hit enemies plus pierce iron skin. Power droplet drop plus 30%. She has the super power link slot potion plus 5. And then she also has the team party speed attribute character special move damage plus 30%. So the soul bomb is just gonna nuke. In epic grades, I think she's gonna be absolutely ludicrous, especially if you have a full lobby, because none of them will be proccing status elements. You'll be able to get the extra 100% damage. She's gonna be broken. Or if you just have Tensa as well, either her or Tensa, gonna be going crazy. She has frenzy plus 2, damage to enemies not affected by an ailment plus 100%, complete status immunity, so you can't get stunned, frozen, burned, any of that. She has the power link slot potions plus 5, and then the power droplets plus 10. So realistically, the only thing I wish is that she had 2 killers. She was technique or power, and she had a tracking vortex on her SA2, simply because it would make autoing like IZ and IT much more doable. But it's fine. I still think she's an absolutely insane character. I think she's better than Tensa. She is just more limited, though. That's the only downside to her. Either way, moving on to Kirio. By the way, Senjumaru is a melee character, if you were curious. Had to throw that in there just so you know. Also, Ichibe was as well. Alright, and so now we have Kirio, who is a ranged character. Keep that in mind when you see her skills, because she does have the SA2 heal and shield. So her SA2 is going to be a melee when she's meant to be a ranged character, which is my biggest hate for this character. If they just fixed that, I think she would have been a very good character. Nothing absolutely insane, but she would have been still very good. She is a squad, a Soul Reaper / Squad 0 affiliation. Her killer is human, and then her soul trait is strong attack recharge minus 14%. She has the innate skills of sprinter plus 1. She has medic, freeze duration minus 100%. Her attainable skills are havoc plus 20%, frenzy plus 2, debilitator plus 5 seconds, enhancer, and she has booster, so very good boost. She gets the 43% attack, defense, and focus boost. Her berserker is plus 60%, devastation plus 40, damage to paralyzed enemies plus 40%. She has sharpshooter, and then the status ailment spiritual pressure boost plus 80%. Now, to be honest, since she looks like a booster, I wish they would have removed the damage to paralyzed enemies and increased the chance of her proccing status ailments plus 10% or whatever it is on a certain character. Something along those lines, you know, just something. It would have been really, really nice. But either way, I think she's a good character, but her SA2 is just what really kills her. And I believe she has like a 40 mag, if I'm not mistaken, so it's a really awful SA1. So she really only has the SA3, but it takes forever to come back, which is super unfortunate. Still not a bad character, just kind of fumbled her more in my opinion. She's like, if I pulled her, I'm actually be disappointed. Not like, she'd be the only one I'd be disappointed in pulling, basically. Now as for Noitora, he is genuinely just a Guild Quest character. He is the Arrancar melee character. Alright, so huge mistake. Hopefully I fixed it earlier on in the video. He is the ranged character. He is a Arrancar ranged. My bad. So you would probably pair him up next to the Technique Aizen. To be honest, those are probably the two really good sides, if I had to assume. He's a Arrancar killer, damage taken minus 20%, weakening all of his skills. He has Berserker plus 60%, Bruiser plus 50%, damage to weakened enemies plus 40%. Also, the Technique attribute Arrancar normal attack damage plus 20%. That's fine, I guess. What other Arrancars? I don't even remember any other Nat Arrancars. He has Debilitator plus 5, Flurry plus 1, Killer Effect plus 30%, and 50% in Guild Quest. Long Reach and Range Damage plus 10, and it's plus 30 in Guild Quest. So he's a pretty good character, but only meant for that, unfortunately. I believe he also has the innate skills of Freeze Duration and Poise, and Sprinter plus 1. Unfortunately now, though, it is Flame Duration on the ground, since he was made for the hard GQ, not the very hard Guild Quest. So, very unfortunate that it got changed. Don't know why they changed that, but either way, let's hop into the next character. Alright, so now we have the Xylopero, who is a Arrancar Espada affiliation. He's a heart character, he is a human killer, and he has damage to lash to enemies plus 40% as his soul trait. Weird champ, to be honest. He has Lacerate and Poison on a lot of his abilities. He has Team Party Heart attribute Arrancar damage to status element affected enemies plus 40%. Dear God. Berserker plus 40%. It's okay. Bruiser plus 20%. Wasted skill, to be honest. Damage to poison enemies plus 40%. Whatever. It's like, the skill without an increased chance, and he only has Frenzy plus 1. Just really, You're just never going to use him, basically. It's not even worth going over. He's just a filler character that if you pull him, he's just orbs, realistically. And now this man, we don't even have to go through it. He's the best technique character in the game at the moment. In terms of like all the activities in the entire game, he has drain and weakening on all of his skills. He has Team Party Technique attribute character strong attack damage plus 20%. He has Technique strong attribute strong attack recharge minus 20%. He has Berserker plus 40, Bruiser plus 20, Debilitated plus 5, Devastation plus 40, Frenzy plus 2, increased status element chance against speed attribute enemies plus 10%. So nice. He has Sharpshooter, and then his Spiritual Pressure boost plus 80%. And then he has damage inflicted at full stamina plus 20%. He has Havoc, and he has Sprinter plus 2. So a very fast character, a very fun character. Love him. He has Drain, one of my go-tos. Only thing I wish, like, why do they always have Bruiser on here? Like, just get that out of here. Give him a immunity to probably, like, freeze, to be honest. But either way, still an absolutely absurd character. He has 2 killers. He has 2 status elements. Nothing more you could really ask for. As for him, Kira, nothing to say. I never ended up playing with him when he dropped, obviously. I started around 6th anniversary, so I have no real attachment to him. I don't really know exactly how he plays, but looking at his kit, he looks pretty mediocre. He only has weakening on all of his skills, a Berserker of 40, Bruiser plus 30, Debilitator plus 5 seconds, and Flurry plus 1. Why such a high Berserker value and a low Bruiser value if you give him Flurry? And he has Last Ditch, Poise, and Sprinter, and I doubt he has innate abilities. He does not. So he's just a very outdated character. If you pull him, he's Orbs. Chojuro, he looks okay. He doesn't look awful, but he has a strong attack recharge minus 12%. He has paralysis on all his abilities. Berserker plus 20. Okay, actually, it's kind of bad. Bruiser plus 20. Damage to paralyzed enemies plus 20. Debilitator plus 5. Devastation plus 40. Frenzy plus 1. Havoc plus 20. And Sprinter plus 1. So I mean, he's okay. If he's your favorite character, you could probably use him in IZ. I would never bring this character in IT, by the way, and never. It sounds absolutely awful. But, if you like him, you can definitely get some play out of him in, like, IZ. Maybe some really easy epic raids. Other than that, point event. As for him, the Yamamoto, I feel as though his resurrection can make him pretty good, but we'll have to wait and see. He has a strong attack recharge minus 12%. He has burning on all of his strong attacks. He has Berserker plus 20, Bruiser plus 20, damage to burning plus 20. Okay, actually, probably not. It's all pretty mediocre stats. Debilitator plus 2 seconds, Devastation plus 40, Frenzy plus 1, Havoc plus 20, and Sprinter plus 1. And I know he has no innate abilities. So yeah, he's just kind of outdated. Unfortunately, just every 1,000-year Blood War character is just really outdated. I wish they would have just done like Daddy Ichigo and Captain Rukia in here or something to spice it up a little bit. But yeah, so overall, I think you can definitely throw in a few steps on here. I don't think you need to. I definitely think that you can skip it if you want to. There's nothing saying you have to, because end of year will most likely be better. I think 5 steps is fine. Just try to get like one of them. But as I said, you can definitely skip this banner, and you will probably not even notice that you did, unless you don't have like Tenso Zangetsu. Then I think it's a must summon because because Senjumaru is an absolutely insane farmer. So, anyways, comment down below. Are you guys gonna be summoning? You guys gonna be skipping? I saw the poll, and dear God, a lot of people are very upset at this banner. I made a video yesterday. A lot of people are upset at this banner. One of my most viewed videos, which is crazy. But yeah. Either way, hope you guys have an absolutely amazing day. Take care, and peace out.